to really access information, and you can actually do anything you want to do in life.
I am an African woman, and closing the gap starts with us. Through initiatives like SMWi Connect program, we can help ourselves and our sisters stand tall, proud, connected, and empowered with technology, and create connections to health, government, educational, and entrepreneurship opportunities.
How will you get involved?
Share your story or contact us to get connected.
He's from Intel, so please ask him all the questions. Once again, welcome to this consultative forum. It's a round table. Definitely you can see round tables in the room. We have come here to put our thoughts together. Organizations, corporations, NGOs, CBOs, government institutions, and all of us that are actually doing something about women empowerment in this country. And we thought that this is a good time to just come and start thinking of what exactly are you as an organization doing about women empowerment, especially when you're exploring the possibilities of using technology to drive that agenda. And then there are many of us in this country that are doing this, and we thought that it would be beneficial for us to actually begin a process of coming together, maybe nearly on a quarterly basis, to share ideas, thoughts, and experiences around what we are doing with technology to drive the agenda of women empowerment. And so at Intel, we do have a flagship program called Intel Connect. And we will be sharing a little bit more with you about that program. My colleague Shuraj will be coming on stage shortly to actually do that. From a program point of view, I just want to let you know that you're all very important guests. And this, the Principal Secretary for Department. The most important agenda of today is, the tall guy is already here, so any question and why we are doing it. There will be a panel discussion that will be led by Moses.
You have to excuse him. He hasn't had breakfast, neither have I, so yeah, if you hear some rumbling noises, please excuse me. Karibu sana, thank you very much for coming so early. I did get some chastising for why do you guys do this at breakfast? And we thought, it's a Friday, it's still a working day. I know a lot of us are from NGO world, which does mean something else for a Friday. But we thought, get people in, you're fresh of mind, get your ideas in. So Grace, excuse us for so early. I want to take you through some of the things. I'm going to try and keep it brief, of our program, which is the Intel Connect, and I'm going to weave a story of how it came about. Before I talk about this, I want us to see some statistics. Some are slightly older, about 3 years old. Some are fairly new. There's evolving progress on some of these things, but a lot of people actually chastise me for this particular slide, saying this is too negative. I'd like to say that it's a challenge. It's stating the facts, and it's a challenge. And it's a challenge for all of us to see how we bridge these divides. These figures are from various UN agencies, etc., that we're partners with, that we get these. The first and foremost is, and this is about the divide in education and technology in gender. Currently, there are 65 million girls that are not going to school. That's almost 1 in every 4. What happens when girls don't go to school? They by sort of circumstance or society pressure, etc., they start early families. this leads to, early mortality rates. This leads to the girls not having the right skills to defend their young families. But the contra indication to this is an increase of 10% of girls increases the GDP of a country by 3%. And what is interesting is when I mentioned this before, people ask, what does it mean for boys? Guess what? The study came back without any change. But a 10% increase in girls leads to 3% increase in the GDP of our country. So another sort of statistic, and this is one actually is, tugs at my heart, is women earn, or rather do 60% of the jobs in the world. They grow 50% of the food. Yet they only earn 10% of the global income and only own 1% of the assets. So somebody who's shouldering more than 50% of their work do not have a lot to their name. Yet whatever women earn, 90% of that is plowed back into their families. It's reinvested in their families and communities. So you can imagine if this is the sector that's plowing back so much back into the community and families, if we empower them, the kind of progress for communities and families would be something else. And in the world of technology, again, there's a huge gap, gender gap, and I'll talk about these in our further slides. But even in technology, women are lagging behind. Government also plays a big part. The more global initiative in 2013, but the program actually started in all earnest in Kenya, Nigeria, and South 2 years. We're targeting girls from 15 and above to digital literacy information and getting trained on how to use devices. This is dive. So connecting them to further opportunities. I want everyone to come together to be able to put our heads together to say, how do we, that helps us advance this to the next stage. We're trying to reduce the socio-gender economic when I started this job, I moved from what I was doing at Intel to this because I was passionate about this particular subject. I've always been influenced by a lot of women and I've become what I am today. My first teachers, whether primary school, secondary school, university, were all female. My first manager was a female. My first business partners were two women that I partnered with. And I've always been influenced by them. But even I didn't understand the potential of this program until we started this program and I go and visit some of our centers in Kenya, Nigeria, and South Africa. You have women coming to you just to tell you how well they've done. This is in South Africa. They put their skills on a resume and have started getting jobs. In Kenya, women now know their right to vote. They now know how to do e-procurement. In Nigeria, women are using technology to improve their enterprises. Women use Facebook for advertising. They use Google search for improving their products and wares. But one of the most compelling stories is a young girl in Kenya, at Embakasi High, in Mkuru wa Njenga, 16-year-old, I think she's going on to be 17 this year, Caroline Wambui. And this is her story.
When Intel came to our school and taught us of Intel XDK, a mobile programming language, I came up with an app that links patients to donors and to hospitals. I gathered a few friends of mine and told them of the idea, and they decided to help me. None of us knew how to code, but with the help of our teacher, Intel XDK was easy to learn. The response has been amazing. Hospitals across Kenya are joining us. We're giving patients and families another shot at life because everyone deserves that.
there are any questions for us on this program, I think we're going to try and save it. I know, as Mark said, Zainab Hussein is coming, so we're just going to try and manage this time slightly better. There is going to be a Q&A time at the end, and I can answer all your questions at that point.
Good morning. So our today, I think it's really exciting. We have a lot of people representing a lot of organizations that actually address it. And essentially our topic is how best to bridge technology gender. And have Madam PS with us for this earlier, but we're going to give the opportunity to talk to us later. But I'd like to call upon Dorothy Gidai, representing 360 Degrees. Thank you.
Hello, Kiri from ICT Authority.
So I think we'll start off with, actually, Dorothy, how are you today?
I'm fantastic.
Yeah, I think we had a wonderful conversation earlier.
Yeah.
I hope she's, part of the, bridging the digital.
I'll start by telling a little story, actually. From 2 days ago, I met a group of women farmers from Limuru. And I don't know if you know the farmers from Kiambu County. Really, some of them are really in their 70s. And these women have gotten an opportunity to meet investors in California. And they want to do linkage to direct markets and value addition to their products. So they do tea and chilies. And what happened is that they said, but we don't know what to say to them. We don't know how to get onto that international platform. How do we discuss? And we were talking about social media and Twitter and stuff like that. And the interest in their faces was really, really amazing to know what they could do. And one of the women, and we also talked about the 2 seconds elevator speech. And one of the women challenged herself, and she did a fantastic presentation. And I really agree with Intel when they say that it doesn't matter your age. The impact is necessary. For us to change the economic and social divide there is that exists, especially around women, it's vital. So, but allow me to kindly talk about SheTrades. So SheTrades is a platform by International Trade Center in Geneva. In addition to that, it's actually women getting on the portal so they can connect internationally with buyers and traders. And also, we have an initiative of training women so they can learn how to use social media, Twitter, Facebook to sell their products. And in addition, getting them onto e-commerce platforms where they can display their goods and services that are actually tagged with, buy now type of thing. I'll tell you from the story from the women from Limuru. One of the women, when she was introducing herself, she said, "Hi, my name is so-and-so, I'm the noisemaker of the group." And already her elevator speech is at 20%, maybe even 0. But this is where we need to rise up as women. When you stand up to introduce yourself, my name is so-and-so, and I run a company called this, and this is what we do, and this is what I can do. And that makes a huge difference. So that's where the skills building is very, very important. The caravan that you're doing is actually